Definitely,
So,
bro.
lesson of the week. Talk to me. What we got?
Oh man. Oh no, we gotta do what defines greatness, bro.
Oh, snap. I forgot that. I totally
It's all
skipped that.
good.
Oh,
It's up.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening. My bad. What the hell just happened? Oh, okay. A wrong graphic popped up. Go ahead. I had to edit that out.
uh nah, man. I think when you think about defining greatness, man, I think it boils down to qualitative and quantitative mastery with tangible results. That's it. It has to be provable, but it also has to be just that you got to have that feeling too. And with greatness, man, it's different. You know what I mean? I think like when you've had a taste of greatness, even just a small little piece of it, you'll understand why the gap between good and great is bigger than the gap between good and bad. You know what I mean? It's so, you know what I mean? Like with what I've been able to do the last 5 years, man. And again, it doesn't even feel like it's been great, but I can acknowledge that it has elements of greatness in it, and it's just you got to have that determination, that consistency, but you got to have results, man. Greatness is really based in results. You can't say you great without being able to put it on the wood. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's like kind of like a combination of those things. What you think?
No, I agree. I only became a great reporter because I was challenged, and I only was challenged because I was a podcaster, and
Yep.
people were like, "All right, well, you speak about this thing, but what makes you an expert?"
Right.
Ironically, I had somebody the other day ask me, like, "What makes you an expert on basketball?" Like, so what, you cover some games? I'm like, "Yeah, but how many practices have you sat through? How many media sessions have you sat through? How many shoot arounds have you gone to? How many times have you watch guys work on their footwork and the coaches go over which way they should be leaning, how they should square their body up to?" Like, over time, you cover so many games and things of that sort, you learn the craft of the game beyond what you just see on the basketball floor. Like, that's what makes a real sports journalist, not what you see during the games. Anybody can summarize the game and give you their opinion on the game. It's the details before the game and after the game and during the game and the story that is defined within that game that is what makes a journalist. And as a podcaster, I'll admit they were right. It was a lot of stuff about basketball that I had to learn. We was just doing hot takes and giving our opinions because that's what was cool. But then once they started making fun of us, like, "Oh, well, we can't consider y'all experts. Y'all ain't no writers. Y'all not this. Y'all not that." I said, "All right, bet." It's something to be learned. It's a new scientific part of this podcasting skill. If I learn to become an expert at basketball, not only can people sit and laugh with me and my co-host, whichever show I'm on, but they can also learn from me. And I think one of the greatest things that I love, and the reason why I like this podcast and why I also try to go on tangents about little business stuff or SEO stuff, is because there have been a lot of people that have told me, like, "Yo, I don't like basketball, but I listen to y'all podcast every time it drop. And y'all actually got me watching basketball because I hear y'all talking about how terrible a guy dribble is, or how much he fade away when he shoot, or y'all call his handle trash." And I'm like, "All right, I got to see who this person is." So now I'm turning on the game. But part of that comes from like education beyond just us trying to say stuff that, as you say, will click for him, which we still can do with the best of them, right? But there is a certain level of knowledge and scientific skill that had to come with learning what it means to be a journalist. And that comes from spending that 8 hours that night, going to that arena, getting there, watching them warm up, watching what they eat, watching who they talk to, and watching the whole game, staying there afterwards, cutting up your clips, talking to the coaches, getting your articles, all that stuff. Like, it's repetition. But part of that repetition has to be scientific. And I use the part of the scientific of like my auditory skills on the podcast mic to say, okay, what will my voice sound like when I'm talking to Doc Rivers? So my normal talking voice, you could call it code switch and whatever. I don't. My mom is an English teacher. I understand that I can use terminology and colloquialisms that aren't of the normal English language when I'm around my people. But that doesn't mean that I need to always use that terminology. I can be Mr. Dion doing my TED Talk. So when I'm talking to Doc Rivers or Greg Popovich in the huddle, "Hey, Coach Pop, can I ask you a question, please?" "Yes, what do you want to hear?" So when this player wrote, but part of the knowledge, right, even for go back to the podcast, right, I became a better reporter because I had to learn about the game. So now I can't just get up there and ask the coach like, when Kawhi scored 30, how did it make you feel? They gonna say, it was great. He's a great player. That's not a good quote. That's not gonna go viral.
Yeah.
But if you can get up there and you can say, yo, Katie, they was guarding you tough. Like, do you feel like you finally in your rhythm? And he say, man, I'm Kevin Durant. I'm 30. Y'all notice what I do. That goes viral. But you gotta be skilled enough to know. And also when you in them rooms, just like podcasts, like jump rope, sometimes people will ask you will have the greatest question in the world and you next. And they ask your question. And now you like, fuck. Because 5 other people might have asked the other questions you had. So if you don't know the game, you just gonna get up there and ask some stupid stuff, which is what happens when you see them reporters going viral for asking dumb questions because they don't know the game. So what makes greatness is the scientific breakdown towards accomplishing that goal. And that's ultimately what it factors into. And if you want to be a great basketball player, you got to be a great athlete. And you're not just born with athletic gifts. You still got to become better. LeBron still do drills. He still get in a hyperbolic chamber. He still eats properly. He don't drink. He don't smoke. He still works out. He don't just wake up every day and go play, don't get on the court. Like his scientific repetition and push towards greatness is what defines his greatness. And that's personally what I believe it does. And that's why I believe you can be great at anything that you set your mind to that's not athletic.
I hear you. Well, let's get on that.
Or unless you're colorblind, because you colorblind too. No disrespect to my colorblind people, but I got some friends that wanted to be pilots that was like, yo, I love airplanes, but I couldn't be a pilot because I'm colorblind.
Yep. Or their depth perception.
Yeah.
That's a disqualifier as well. So
if
you want to be a pilot early on, check out your depth perception. Because if it ain't tested, you're getting cooked. Okay?
Yep.
You will be washing the jet, not flying the jet. Okay, don't wait till you're 25 to get that checked out. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. For
That's
real,
hilarious.
Man.
All right, Dion.
Lesson of the week, man.